ban on organics from the garbage by 2015 is going to affect everybody.
All of the organic waste that's from our community and from UBC that goes into the facility is processed into soil.
We don't even use a third of a bin every 2 weeks of regular garbage. The rest is all either green waste or blue waste.
Welcome to the Sustainable Region. I'm Vanessa Timmer.
And I'm Dagmar Timmer. Today we're at Harvest Power in Richmond.
Some of our food scraps and yard trimmings collected in green bins end up here. And today we'll find out how we turn that stuff into compost.
Green bin collection is one way that our region is diverting waste from our landfills. But reducing the waste that we create in the first place is an even better way.
Harvest Power anticipates it will take in 190,000 tons of green waste this year. And it all starts here at the scale office. That's a lot of green waste that's not going into the landfills in our region. In our first story, we'll look at why diversion methods like these are so important and how 4 business improvement associations decided to take the challenge of reducing and diverting their waste head on.
People create mountains of trash. Landfills emit greenhouse gases that are a threat to the environment. In Metro Vancouver, 1.5 million tons of garbage is created each year. Curbing that increase is a big problem, but not unsurmountable. By starting on a small scale, a solution is at hand. The business associations in these neighborhoods are lifting the lid on garbage. Restaurants, shops, and offices will all be finding ways to shrink their garbage in a zero-waste challenge for businesses.
I almost want to say what took them so long.
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're pumped about it.
The ban on organics from the garbage that will be coming into effect by 2015 is going to affect everybody. It's going to be people that have restaurants, grocery stores. It's going to affect institutions like hospitals and post-secondary institutions.
Metro Vancouver wants to help businesses get ready. So in spring 2013, they created a one-time $5,000 grant opportunity for business associations willing to take on the challenge.
What we've asked is that the BIAs capture their experience so that we then have different models or templates or toolkits that other BIAs can adopt.
Yeah, I was prepared not to be harsh, but
Candace is the waste team leader in the Langley area called Aldergrove, where there's a small town feel.
I'm just a very passionate person, so whatever I do, I always put my whole heart into it. So coming on, being thrown into this, I just dove in 2 feet.
Checking the garbage of local businesses is how she starts the waste challenge.
Yeah, let's do we want to see the whole thing, so we want to go down.
One of the first businesses to sign up is Bob's Restaurant.
We've heard about the organics ban, and as a restaurateur, we've been quite concerned. My wife and I have been concerned on how we're going to accomplish that. So when this pilot project became known to us, we picked on it right away.
As far as here goes, we've got kitchen.
Well, today was very encouraging, so that makes it easy right out of the gate.
In East Vancouver, Hastings North is another business association that's joining the Waste Challenge. It's a bustling neighborhood of small shops and cafes that serve both young and old.
We are an area of small business.
Patricia has been involved in this neighborhood for close to a decade.
A lot of advocacy happens in this neighborhood. People feel very strongly about their neighborhood and work very closely together.
Not too far down Hastings Street, another business association is interested.
You know, this part of the city is very progressive. There's a lot of innovative companies, a lot of companies looking at sustainability and looking at environmental issues and social justice issues. So there was an appetite here to embark on this.
Wes is in Hastings Crossing, home of innovation and architecture, in Vancouver's vibrant centre.
There's a lot of professionals here in the various office towers, post-secondary institutions, and a lot of restaurants.
Metro Vancouver wanted a variety of approaches by the BIAs, so the 2 Hastings groups decide to partner up.
We can share resources, we can share ideas.
I thought it'd be great to partner up on this and have the 2 of us come together and try and make it work.
The two groups kick off their Zero Waste Challenge announcement at a local business networking event.
Thanks, everybody, for coming here. So
the conversation soon turns to the waste bins in their alleys.
We'll look at hauler contracts. Those hauler contracts can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years in length, and they're hard to change or to get out of.
I think any help that businesses can have from the BIA right now in getting ahead of the curve is something that would be well received.
We're really at the very beginning of the process.
This parking lot is the focus for Vancouver's Mount Pleasant BIA, where a neighborhood-scale composting project is planned. Behind the scenes of this nearby restaurant is advocate and owner Mike Weeb.
There's a need for people to connect, and I think people have lost that. So I think ideas like this and projects like this bring people together, and they'll meet at different cafes and we'll be talking about it and brainstorming, and you can just see how excited people are. The only issue is that this is a new project, and so we're dealing with insurance issues, who's paying for the power, how is it going to be metered.
They realize their model will need more time for permits and approvals, but since Metro Vancouver is interested, their project time frame has been extended.
I'm a big believer in sometimes getting out of the way. If you can let people think outside of the box, that's when the magic happens.
Peace of mind is hard to find when plastic's filling up your dreams. You try to do your best, but the blue bin's busting at the seams. And when the milk's all done and you're through with chugging, please take this simple step before you toss that jug in.
Stop it. Mash it up good like you know that you should. Squish it down flat so it's ready to stack. Grab a few friends and bring them to the spot. Stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp, stomp, stomp. Stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it. Stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp it, stomp, stomp, stomp.
Stop it.
Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. Let's take a look at how to use green waste more effectively. Well, composting is one way. Essentially, composting means taking this and turning it into this. And Harvest Power does this on a huge scale.
Harvest Power uses a process called covered aerated static pile composting. And what this means is that green waste is placed within composting cells, like the cells behind me here. And when those cells are full, an organic cover is put over top of the material, and a series of vacuum pipes under the cells pull air through the material. Then those vacuum pipes push the air through biofilters. This process maintains aerobic conditions, eliminates the need to turn the material over, and keeps odors down. Most facilities don't have the space for this type of setup, but there are many options for composting on site, and we'll take a look at one of these in our next story.
When it comes to composting, multi-family locations present unique challenges. But a pilot project at this Metro Vancouver rental housing complex in Coquitlam offers a new approach to dealing with organic waste.
Malaspina Village is the first multi-family automated on-site composting system in Western Canada.
The system is called the Rocket, and it turns household organic waste into high-quality compost in just 6 weeks.
This material has been composting for 14 days, and this is the result.
The technology has been around since the 60s. It is a global technology with rockets all over the world.
It can generate or work through about 20 kilograms per day of product, and it's going to pay for itself within 3 or 4 years with the kind of savings that it's going to make. I think that there's going to be real enthusiasm because the residents of this area, they're going to be right into it.
At this point, about 50% of the people are actively using the system, and it has exceeded all of our expectations.
I used to throw everything in the garbage. Now I just put it in a little plastic container on my counter, and then once or twice a week I come and put it in the bin here.
The project is one of several approaches Metro Vancouver is trying out in multi-family settings to address the upcoming ban on food waste in landfills, scheduled to take effect in 2015.
So you take what would otherwise be garbage and you turn it into a useful material. It's an invaluable lesson for the young people, and I think that they will also get very interested in it.
Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. Today we're at Harvest Power in Richmond. Behind me in the distance, compost is being screened that has been undercover for 8 weeks. It will cure for another couple of months here before it's ready to go into gardens and farms across the Lower Mainland. In our last story, we saw one housing complex trying a new system of composting on site. And in the next, we'll check out what the University of British Columbia is able to do for its 5 multi-family neighborhoods.
Once a fairly isolated academic campus, the University of BC has evolved into a vibrant community. People who work or study or just want to live on the university campus can buy or rent condos or townhouses. Today, about 8,000 residents call UBC home. What's different in UBC's 5 multi-family neighborhoods is a program to collect food scraps and process them on site. And here's the machine that makes that possible. UBC started using this giant on-site composter back in the fall of 2004.
Residents were aware that there was a facility and just began to ask questions about it and whether buildings could participate. And so, sort of on an informal basis, a small pilot with a few buildings was started. We've currently got service to about 40% of our buildings, and we're serving more than 1,300 of our residents.
We'll see what we got over here. Oh, yeah, we got some more here.
Our goal absolutely is 100% service to all buildings. We expect to achieve that and be in time with the Metro Vancouver 2015 ban on organics.
The upcoming ban on organics is encouraging many communities to get ahead of the curve. At UBC, it's succeeding because residents want it.
Composting program is a great program. I think, first of all, it makes me feel that I'm contributing, at least in a little way, to keeping our planet in better shape for us and for our future generations. It's very easy, really, to participate in this program. All you need to do is just get a bin that's comfortable for you, and then you just throw away whatever you need to compost. So after that, you just go and throw it away in the special garbage bin, and that's it.
Within a matter of weeks, the scraps from Sandra's kitchen turn into nutrient-rich soil that's used all around the campus.
Previously, the food waste would have gone into general garbage, which would have gone into our garbage trucks and would have gone out to the landfill. On the finished end, you kind of have a compost product that can go back into our landscapes, our beds, etc.
All of the organic waste from our community and from UBC that goes into the facility is processed into soil and then comes back and stays on the campus and also in our neighborhoods. We have a strong community gardens program, and the soil for that program comes from our own organic waste.
Year after year, the organics diversion has increased, and I think at some point we'll reach our next phase. As we get more and more successful and we reach the capacity of the machine, we'll have to look to what our next steps are going to be.
Check this out, a cantaloupe. And now, a plastic bag.
Kids, stop annoying the yard bin.
Put all your food scraps and food-soiled paper into your yard waste bin, but no plastic bags, please.
Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. I'm here at Harvest Power with site manager Jeff Hill, and we're standing in front of the Energy Garden. Jeff, what can you tell me about the Energy Garden and what happens here?
Well, the Energy Garden receives organic food waste and mixes it in with a bulkier yard waste. We shred it all up, load it into tunnels, and microorganisms then create a biogas or a methane that's burned to make electricity.
How much electricity will this produce?
So it's enough for about 900 homes.
What inspired you to add an energy garden to this site?
The inspiration for this site and this region is because of Metro Vancouver's landfill ban that's coming up for organics. And with this large volume of waste, what is the best management that could be done with it in the region for maximum sustainability?
Thank you very much, Jeff. Well, systems like these help us achieve our zero waste goal for the region. But of course, the real hard work starts with each of us at home. So in our next story, we're going to meet a group of residents who set out to change their habits for the better.
It's a quiet street in New Westminster that looks much like any other. But behind these doors are the makings of a quiet revolution. A revolution that focuses on what goes into every household's garbage can. The people living in these 14 households decided to take on Metro Vancouver's Zero Waste Challenge, aiming to divert as much garbage as possible from the waste stream.
I had a thing for reducing garbage and composting as much as possible and recycling as much as possible. And it was just personally for me something really important and something that I was willing to champion.
And get aware of it they did. In some people's cases, more than anyone could have ever anticipated.
This was a family of two, a husband and wife, and they actually saved their garbage for 8 weeks. And this is it. And this only weighs about 550 grams. It's such a visual reminder of what taking seriously reducing your garbage can look like. In the same period of time, the city would have taken 16 garbage cans of garbage.
Another family began collecting compost for the first time, breaking a lifelong habit of sending organic material into the wastewater treatment system by garburating it.
It's made us really much more aware of what we're putting in the garbage. Initially, we had to weigh everything, and I had to weigh the food going in the garburator, and I thought this is really stupid, so I just stopped garburating. I use it maybe once a week, more or less to refreshen it. We're still way down on our garbage. We don't even use 1/3 of a bin every 2 weeks of regular garbage. The rest is all either green waste or blue waste.
Styrofoam was a particular challenge.
So we said that we would actually take everybody's styrofoam and keep it, and we started stockpiling it at our home, and I guess re-educating people to let them know what it actually meant for styrofoam in the landfill. It was a lot bags and bags and bags of it, yeah. And at the time, the place that we took it, the bags were huge. They were immense big bags. So we would have 2-3 big bags on our front porch full of styrofoam. Now in New West, they have styrofoam drop-off, so I think pretty well everybody on our street is recycling styrofoam now. Yay!
And other habits have changed too.
We discovered that we were throwing a lot of food away. We started to change our habits and how we went shopping and plan our meals for the week. Once we figured out and started the menu plan, we discovered we were throwing less food away, as well as we were spending less money at the store. We used to put out 2 large garbage cans every week, and now we put out a very small amount once a month.
It's been several years now since Glenbrook North's Zero Waste Challenge ended, and while the event itself was temporary, just 8 weeks, for several households on the street, the change in behavior has become permanent.
At least half of the families had dramatic difference. It really opened their eyes to their waste habits, and they established some good, new, healthy habits. Healthy for the planet, healthy for them too.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching.
You can watch and share these videos online at metrovancouvervideos.org. For the Sustainable Region, I'm Dagmar Timmer.
And from Harvest Power in Richmond, I'm Vanessa Timmer. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Metro Vancouver Close-Up. We're looking at sustainability in Metro Vancouver cities. I'm Dagmar Timmer. In Richmond, a ground source heating system is drawing energy from the ground and producing less greenhouse gases than burning fossil fuels. They're leading the way with a district-wide energy system that generates both heat and financial savings. The City of Richmond is celebrating the first anniversary of its district energy system, where free energy is extracted from the ground to provide heat for hundreds of nearby homes in Richmond's West Cambie area.
The amount we have serviced right now is probably over 500 units. We have 2 buildings right now that have hooked up. One's being serviced for almost a year now, and the other one's just getting occupied, the Remy.
The energy comes from here, where 390 closed wells each extend 250 feet below the surface. The Earth's warmth is drawn into them and carried by a fluid that loops through to this control center, then out to neighborhood condominiums.
When we look at the totality of energy use in the community, and specifically energy use that generates greenhouse gases, a very significant component of that is in buildings.
Almost no pollution or greenhouse gases are created with this system, which is capable of expansion to serve 3,000 homes. Additional district energy systems are planned in Richmond City Centre and Oval Village.
It's a whole new way of doing business, and it's a great step forward for the community, and it feels great to be doing something that's having a global beneficial impact as well.
One pathway to good health and nature is Metro Vancouver's Regional Greenway Network, which connects cities with cycling and walking routes. In New Westminster, Metro Vancouver recently expanded the Brunette River Link.
There is fish in there, and we want to improve the habitat for them. This area has been impacted for over 100 years of industry and urban development, so we're trying to repair some of that.
Here, the crew temporarily protects the riverbank from the rain that's expected tonight. They're working on the Brunette River's final stretch where it meets the Fraser River. It's a highly industrialized area below Brunette Avenue and the Sapperton SkyTrain station.
There's a lot of invasive species that have taken over the native species and actually outcompeted them. So we're going to remove those, bring in the native species, and actually bring back the plants that were here for the fish and the wildlife, so they'll have a better habitat, better place to live. We're actually removing a lot of concrete waste, tires, those sorts of things out of the river, and stabilizing the bank so we can actually build a greenway, and it's a lot safer for people as well. It might not be looking like a typical park that people are used to, but you will be able to access the river. And so it's a long-term plan, but this is definitely the first step.
Currently, about 40% of landfill waste is organic material, which could otherwise be a resource if it was composted. In the township of Langley, sports fans and players are cheering. A zero waste program is now underway in the Langley Event Centre. The Langley Event Centre has recently become the first mid-size arena with a zero waste designation.
It's definitely when we have events, when we have games, when we have concerts and other functions, that the waste is either created from within our building because we're selling the products, or it's products that are coming from the outside.
After an audit of the event centre's waste, they developed a comprehensive plan to address it.
With the assistance of the township and consultants, we implemented 3 different streams that the public have access to. A single stream, a garbage stream, and then also an organic stream.
People using the new zero waste stations receive guidance from station attendants, and there's also educational signage with the centre's star athletes.
We've tried to use those team members that, the kids idolize, they look up to as role models. So for things like their hockey sticks, when they're broken and they're fixable, we get them to donate those to, like smaller children leagues. Right into our laundry room, so the dryer lint, for example, has to be composted. It's cotton material, so even our staff that are washing the guys' jerseys, they're composting for us.
The Langley Events Centre is a prime example of Langley's focus on corporate sustainability.
Part of our core mandate is to have a sustainable township, and I think we have to take leadership. When people come to a game, they're seeing it, they're doing it. It starts in our public facilities so that it's an easier transition when we have to change at home.
Metro Vancouver and local governments have a goal to support healthy communities and ecosystems with local food production. That's why experts in the food chain gathered for a day-long seminar in Coquitlam to help develop a regional food system strategy. The appetite for fresh, locally produced food is growing throughout the region. Metro Vancouver recently teamed up with experts from across the agriculture industry during a day-long seminar in Coquitlam to discuss how local government can best support our regional food system.
Metro Vancouver and the municipalities feel that we can take a bit more of a leadership role in terms of our food security and food supply here in the Lower Mainland.
The discussion focused on how to strengthen the financial stability of the food sector while expanding the capacity to grow, process, and manufacture food close to home.
So what we're trying to do today is figure how we can get processors and distributors together to get the food from the local farmers to the local public that want to consume our food.
And in British Columbia, investing in the food processing sector is already making economic sense.
The people who have plants that take goods in from farms and process them into finished products that we all put onto our plates is almost $7 billion a year in BC.
I guess you got to judge each tray.
There were also suggestions of ways to cultivate new interest in production.
We're talking today about food hubs or centers of excellence where people can learn about the different local foods, how to prepare foods, how to process them.
All these ideas and more will be used to shape the implementation of Metro Vancouver's regional food system strategy.
We have a great opportunity to support our local businesses and local farmers and keep the food security close to home and really make a better, more stable future for us here.
For more examples of local sustainability, check out our blog at metrovancouvervideos.org. For Metro Vancouver Close-Up, I'm Dagmar Timmer. See you soon.